please let us know where you're watching, wherever you're watching us from. I am coming to you from beautiful downtown Niles, Michigan, from the friendly confines of On Base Productions. And our stalwart host, Satya, where are you joining us from?
Well, I'm from San Diego now. I had a long trip, about 2 weeks to India, but now I'm back in San Diego.
Excellent. Where the weather is the same every day. And our guest this week, where are you coming from, fellas?
Hi, this is Amit Banerjee. I'm here in the Bay Area in California.
Hello, this is David Chen. I'm in Michigan. Yeah.
Right on. I think because y'all are in Troy, Michigan. Is that what it was?
Yes, I'm in Troy, Michigan. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm in Niles. We're not that far away.
Oh, great. Yeah, neighbor.
That's right. That's right. I was actually born and raised here.
Great.
So yeah, please, folks, let us know where you're coming from in the chat. We always like to see the global audience wherever you're joining us from. Good
Nico
morning,
from
Holland. Yeah. Mexico. Much love to Mexico. Hello, Ontario. Hello.
So people, please switch your drop down when you're chatting. There's a drop down. Please switch it to everyone so everyone gets to know. And also, we usually have a giveaway, and we want to make sure that everybody responds to the answers to the question with everyone turned on, right? So that there's no
Hello, Miami.
question.
Hello, Los Angeles. Hello, Iran, Sri Lanka, Basingstoke, England, Armenia, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Poland, Colorado Springs. I've been there. It's beautiful. Hello, Germany again.
Wow, people from all over the world.
Yeah. Bulgaria over on LinkedIn. We've got
Saudi Arabia, France,
Nigeria. We've got Hendrik from Münster, Germany. Awesome to see. Yeah.
All right, so we'll get started in just a few seconds. Let people join in from different platforms.
Yes, indeed. We'll do a quick viewer check here. Good morning to all 60 of you watching on LinkedIn right now and 40 of you here in Zoom. Good morning to the 5 of you watching on YouTube and the 1 of you watching on Twitch. We appreciate you.
Oh, we got Twitch also?
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yes, we're game streamers now. We're influencers now, Satya.
Okay.
I think now's a great time to start. Go for it, boss.
All right, let's get started. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Satya Mallick, the CEO of OpenCV.org. On today's episode of OpenCV Live, our guests are David Chen, co-founder of Orbbec, and Amit Banerjee, head of platform and partnerships. Orbbec is the newest OpenCV Silver member organization, and we are so thankful for their support. Today, Orbbec team will be showing us how easy it is to use OpenCV with their powerful smart cameras, including the brand new Percy N1. Orbbec and OpenCV are collaborating closely to make sure the experience is great right out of the box. And we are very excited to move this collaboration forward. And as OpenCV Silver membership, Orbbec is not only contributing $30K towards the Silver membership, they are also contributing towards OpenCV AI competition for next year. And they are also working with us to get their camera certified as an OpenCV certified depth camera. So I'm very excited about all of these things. And before we get started, though, as always, I want to introduce Phil Nelson, who is the Director of Content and Creative at OpenCV. Phil produces the show, and if anything goes wrong, it's his fault.
Yes, that's right. Good morning, everyone. It is me, the co-host with the co-most, the second banana, who is second to none. I'm also your plus one and only. It's Mr. Nelson, if you're nasty, with apologies to Janet, but you can call me Phil. And I'm here to remind you of a few things we do every single episode of this show, the first of which is a very special giveaway to you in the audience. Our guests have generously decided to give away a Percy N1 camera during today's show. Stay tuned later and I will be asking a trivia question, and the very first person to answer that question here in the Zoom chat will win a Percy N1, a huge, huge prize. We really appreciate it. If you're not in the Zoom chat, you can get there by going to opencv.live. That's opencv.live. We're also taking questions from you in the audience. Use the little Zoom Q&A button at the bottom of the screen to ask your question at any time during the show, or type your question into the chat wherever you're watching: LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. We really appreciate everybody joining us for these shows, and this one is going to be very interesting and exciting. But before we get started with the rest of the show, Satya, let's talk a little bit about the OpenCV campaign.
Yeah, so OpenCV 5 campaign, we have been running it for almost 43 days or so. It's coming to an end in 2 days. So if you have not contributed, please contribute. Any little contribution helps build OpenCV 5. And with partners like Orbbec, we will have the necessary funding to pull it off. But your contribution matters a lot. So please contribute. I think more than 600 people have contributed so far, and we have raised more than $65,000, which is great, but it's not enough.
700, actually, 700.
700 people have contributed. That's even better. So yeah, please, if you have not contributed yet, spread the word, contribute yourself if possible, and it will mean a lot to us. We are in the process of putting all the timeline together when different pieces of these things will be released, because it's an open source project. It's not like we are going to release everything in one shot. We will keep adding to the repository, the OpenCV 5 repository, as and when the functions get implemented. So yeah, your support is invaluable. Please contribute.
Yeah, and thanks so much to the 752 of you who have supported us so far. We really do appreciate it, and every little bit does count. One more thing here, a little bit more OpenCV business. We're currently in the process of judging the OpenCV AI Competition 2023 final submissions, as hosted by Hackster, the official community platform of OpenCV. This year, as in past years, the sheer quality of some of these submissions just blowing us away. We're going to take a little bit longer to judge them as a result. Originally, we'd said we would announce the winners on December 21. We're going to push that back 1 week to December 28. So thanks for hanging with us here, and the best of luck to everyone who submitted a final presentation. Just finishing a project is a huge, huge achievement, and you should be very proud of yourselves. Best of luck in the judging, and we'll be hosting our live announcement on December 28. I think that's all for me this time. Satya?
Yeah, so now we are ready to welcome our guests again. So Amit and David, it's your show now. We can start with showing the video of the Orbbec cameras, and then it will set up the stage for a discussion about Orbbec, and we can also touch a little bit about potential collaborations later on that between OpenCV and Orbbec, how we have been collaborating so far and how we plan to collaborate in the future on the software side as well. So Phil, you have the video. We can start with the
Yes, I do. I'll share that right now. Okay, y'all see that?
Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, snazzy video.
So before
yes.
we get into the product, should we just start with, if David, you could explain the origin story of Orbbec, what motivated you to start the company and how it has evolved, that would be a good start.
Oh, sorry, I get muted. Sure, let me. Well, the story is very simple. First of all, my major when I was a PhD student, I was working with 3D measurement in the inspection. We do 3D measurement on material properties like steel, beams, other structures. And what I found two things. One is that the 3D sensing or 3D vision technology is very useful and will become more and more widely used in the near future. The second problem I found is it was very hard to realize a 3D vision system. What we did in our lab, we buy cameras from here and there, we put them together, we buy optical frames, rails, screws, and put everything together by ourselves, take several days, then we calibrate, then we recalibrate, then we found code, then we found algorithms, and after that, maybe half year, we finish the system.
I'm laughing because I know exactly the pain that you went through. I had the same problems during my PhD as well. If you wanted to do anything related to stereo, it was like a few month exercise where you get everything ready before you can get started.
Yes. So later, what we, my idea is how to solve this problem. We did several things. On our side, on Orbbec side, we focused ourselves on hardware development. We put all those components together and developed many different models of 3D cameras that are much easier to use. So Amit will show you what we have done in the past 10 years. Then you will see a lot of hardware work from us. And the good thing is that, I think all of you already know the situation of the current AI. They became a lot of much smarter than before. But all those applications, AI-based applications, has related to vision, both 2D and the 3D. So this development is, I'm very happy to see this development. On the software and the algorithm aspect, what we have is, this is a reason why we are here working with OpenCV. OpenCV is making everything easier, actually. All those libraries, fundamental functions, APIs, I think maybe 90 or 95% you may need to use your vision system is already contained, included by OpenCV. It's very useful. If we are talking about modern development, I know OpenCV also support like a CUDA, those kind of high cutting edge technology computing. You do not need to learn CUDA anymore. Just use OpenCV to everything. Just an example, but that things OpenCV really makes things from software side much easier. So my opinion for our collaboration, the core value of our collaboration with OpenCV is that together we can provide you a hardware and a software solution together. So to guarantee you made a successful project or to help you commercialize your idea quickly. Yeah. Right. So that's the story of Orbbec and why we start. Yeah.
Thank you. So Amit, why don't you tell us about your background and how, coming from a Microsoft background, how Orbbec is now, taking where Microsoft left. Tell us about your story, your background a little bit, and then let's go over the Microsoft story as well.
Sure. So I also started grad school at Lehigh University, and I was working on semiconductors. So real hardcore, device physics and all the way up. And that's when you start gaining appreciation for, what came to be like the CMOS sensors and things like that, right? And then I've worked on systems, cloud, and software. And then I was working at Microsoft. That's where I, got introduced to David. At Microsoft, what we were looking for is how, Microsoft had already invested 10 plus years into building the top technology, which they use in HoloLens, as well as Azure Connect. But I was really happy to see the management want to actually spread this wealth and have other industries benefit from it. So when David and I met, it's like, I personally believe in 3D, how to make 3D available, accessible, affordable, but high performance 3D. Otherwise, it's not useful, right? It has to be at par and has to have value add to just RGB. And I found Orbbec, of the different partners I was working with, is very simple. If you look at our tagline, 3D vision for a 3D world. We're dedicated to 3D.
Very nice.
And that's why I'm sharing the screen. If you look at it, we always focus on the bottom left and then the further up the track. The biggest investment and the core IP of a 3D company is actually the bottom right part of it. It's the manufacturability of the systems, of the calibration of the software which goes into the systems of manufacturing, the trained manpower of the IP and the processes. We already had this in-house. So that's where we came together, and I decided to join David in this pursuit of bringing 3D to everybody. The other one I will continue to add on that one is OpenCV. So when I saw, wow, OpenCV is used, I think you claim 89%, it might be more now, use. But what we find is that what I found from both of you is that you are passionate about adding on what is needed to make 3D or RGBD or 3D ubiquitous. So that's where our journey is. And for the people listening, there will be a lot to come in the new year about fruits of our collaboration. But today I'm just going to go back and maybe talk a little bit about the technologies and about the products that we have built with these technologies, and then we'll go back to performance. Right? Ultimately, it's all about performance. So I purposely started with this because remember what David said, right? I have 5 different cameras and I'm trying to do a calibration. Well, a 3D camera, a single unit device, if you want to call it, actually has multiple cameras inside it. Plus, it has different. It's not a homogeneous. It's different kinds of cameras, different kinds of sensors, different kinds of processing that it needs, different kinds of ISP equivalents that you need. Plus, if you now want to build depth, the depth engine is a different set of algorithms. And these are all physics as well as optimized to the resource that you have, which can fit in the camera or outside the camera, right? And then it becomes, it's a very tuned to the application that you have. And in some cases, you have to build different cameras. So not one camera fits all. So the problems that David faced when he was in grad school, we are solving that inside a camera so you don't have to solve it.
Right.
So David, I'm going to go to this slide and maybe have you talk a little bit about these technologies.
Okay. So, well, sorry for presenting a lot of different technologies on the same page, but that's all of them are what we focused on. Orbbec is focusing on, as we mentioned, providing you a reliable hardware like vision system to your project and the product. But currently, there are several major vision technologies. I mean, 3D vision technologies in the market. We cannot say which one is absolutely the best, or so Orbbec decided to start with almost all of them. So you can see the top camera on the left. This one is very famous. We work together with Microsoft together. Amit should be the one who has the highest authority to talk about this collaboration. We are taking care of the future KDK business. We are using our femtobot as an official alternative of KDK, right? So the second one are stereo vision cameras. Stereo vision cameras is famous for its robustness for under different environments, like outdoor, like dark environment, or like other environment is with a stronger reflection, those kind of different scenarios. The other advantage of stereo vision camera is because it's doing collaboration. It's doing correlation, image correlation between two cameras. So it gives us the algorithms more error tolerance or image quality tolerance. So in this case, we can, for the stereo vision camera, we can build a more affordable and a high performance shape. Right. So the Percy N1 we are going to talk about today is equipped by default with stereo vision cameras we developed. So the structured light one is structured light camera. It's usually based has a more higher accuracy, but a little bit lower resistance to environmental noise and narrower field of view. But it's very good for scanning. If you want to do some high accurate scanning, the structured light technology is what you may be interested in. Yeah. The fourth one on the top is what we are going to emphasize today. Again, as we mentioned, the difficulties when we work as a student or in the lab. So we are trying to make everybody's life easier. So in this case, we put a single board computer developed by NVIDIA, and one of our newest stereo vision camera, Gemini 2, into the same device. So what you can do with it, if you you simply need to select what kind of application you want to develop. Install your new latest OpenCV library, then start your development. And you get everything: a computer, a vision system, operation system, it's Ubuntu, plus OpenCV library. Everything is inside the same device. You do not need to spend time buying those components and assemble them together anymore.
Amit, can we go back to the previous slide, the slide that you were showing? Yeah, so the stereo vision cameras, even though, they have an IR projector also, right? So that, or if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, does it have an IR projector?
Well, our stereo vision camera does have a dot projector. The reason we are doing that is for,
Flat.
we call for a flat surface. If you do not have dots, it's very hard for stereo vision cameras to give you a good result. So we added some projector too. Yeah.
Right. So even though, I mean, that's sort of a structured light also, but the structured light ones, I just want people to know the difference between the two, right? The stereo vision has two cameras, and it also has kind of structured light with IR, but with this IR dot projector. But this one is truly structured light, where you put a very sharp pattern, right? And the light actually, does the light show up in the environment?
No, it's still infrared.
Okay.
Okay. Invisible. For structured light cameras, in our definition is you only have one IR plus one projector. But for stereo
it's a projected camera system.
Yes, up to.
Yeah.
So on the second and bottom line of products, you can see that we are also working with a development board, like a single board PC. We are now working with NVIDIA. Of course, our cameras support all their latest SoCs. You can run our camera on any of their boards. too. And if you talk about LiDAR, we also have LiDAR. But these tools are single line LiDAR. So it's not the it's not most important for today's webinar. So I just maybe skip it.
Yeah.
For software, for ODM, OEM solutions is another story, right? But for software solution, as I mentioned, you can try to run the OpenCV library on our POC N1. That may be the easiest way for starter or for one who want to do a prototyping. Yeah, for many people. Yeah.
Right. And we collaborated with Orbbec for the last at least 1 year, maybe more, so that Orbbec camera, the Gemini series of cameras, when you plug it in, it shows up as a USB device. So you can actually use OpenCV's IMRead function to directly get the input from the Orbbec camera. Not only that, you can also get the depth and all this feed. So the depth that it estimates, it shows up as a 4-channel image, right? Or a separate channel in the image. So it's basically plug and play if you're using OpenCV. And I think this is the only depth camera that is supported by OpenCV natively right now. Otherwise, you'll have to use some other library to extract all the information, the depth information, and then you can use OpenCV. But with Orbbec, you can directly, it is natively supported by OpenCV. And that was, that collaboration will continue, and we'll add new features to that as well.
Thanks, Satya. And maybe another point for the developers who are on this call today is, how do you extend this knowledge that you are working on? Majority of our latest cameras, which includes the camera which is there on the POC N1, plus the top cameras, we have virtual camera models, USD models, available to work with NVIDIA's Isaac Sim platform or the Omniverse. So if you work with our cameras, you're familiar already, or you're working and learning with OpenCV libraries, whatever work you're doing, it is actually extensible to the other side, which is the digital platform investments that different companies are making into the physical-based reality world, right? So that's where these things start coming together. So all your investments, or if you're looking for employment and opportunities, all these companies who are investing from the digital world. This is where the last, it used to be the last mile problem. Here is the last meter problem, right? So we are the ones who are going to actually bridge that gap, and you can be that person who bridges that gap, right?
3D for a 3D world, as you said.
Yeah, it is the PBR. Yeah, some other day we'll talk about different applications of some of these. So I'm just going to quickly just maybe glimpse over a couple of our TOF cameras, because these are also useful for our audience. This is what David mentioned, is the commercial and viable alternate to Microsoft's Azure Connect. They have already done the end of sale. We transferred the technology, and it is identical performance as far as depth goes, and identical modes of operation. In fact, we have written a wrapper, and we have a few lines of code which will enable all your software that you have built to directly run on it. We are actually having press releases in later this week and going forward with several customers who have already migrated, and they actually are writing on their own about the benefits of the improvements that we have made. We'll talk about some other day. Nice thing is, if you build your software with this, or if you're coming from the Azure Connect, you can use this as well. This has the depth engine running inside the camera, has the same Jetson Nano built inside it. This is the industrial version, IP65 rated, cost 3x. However, if you build a solution using either one of them for your development team, you can buy the cheapest one, $400, $395, the Bolt, right? This one is $395. This one is $695. This is about $2,000. But in a warehouse which does not require harsh environment conditions to be met, go ahead and use the cheaper one. If you have, your compute very close to the camera. Use the cheapest one, right? So these are the advantages, but your software remains the same, right? But you can meet different TCOs. Let's talk a little bit more about this, but then I would like David to maybe tell you more about the camera itself, right? Because you can read as much as you want about the Jetson Nano or you're probably already familiar. Question maybe to ourselves is, why did we pick this? Why did we even build this? You could always buy the camera separately and your choice of boards. What we realized is, again, we can have the camera and compute together like we have in like the Femto Omega. This is a different business. Why? One of the challenges for a developer is that I build something connected to a compute, well, mostly laptop, let's say, powerful laptop. But then when I want to do a demo, I'm carrying a tangle of wires, and it's a camera. It has to be positioned on a stand and it has to be firmly, set up so it doesn't move around when I'm trying to show something. And then it becomes hard to replicate, and your demo is failing, right? And you have to take a long time to set up the distances and settings and calibrations and all of that. We want to take that away. Next thing is, it's not a system that you are tethering to. It is the system that you're going to develop on. So you connect your keyboard and monitor to the system, right? Whatever you develop, that is what you deploy. That is what you demo. That's what you test. That's what you deploy, right? So this is a path. Now, for really high volume customizable developments, hey, you can choose the camera separately. You can choose the compute differently. But to make it easy and accessible at a good price point, so you are not going around shopping, you're not going to a machine shop, you're not building the structure, you're not dealing with the wiring. And many of you know, yeah, USB works great for different devices, but for cameras, it's a different topic, right? So that's where we went in, and even has like small things that we thought through, which is, can you do memory extension without having to open something, and right? So that's what our goal was, to make it more of a developer device. Yes, we have customers who are already thinking about planning of larger scale deployment using a single cable PoE, right? I'll hand it over to David again and maybe have him talk about the camera itself. Why did we pick this camera? Satya, I think you have a question first, though.
Well, I had a comment about the platform per CN1 is, people don't realize that even if you bought the camera and the board separately, putting it all together is a few hours of your time. And time is money, right? That's probably a couple of $100 in developer time if you're in the US for sure, right? So that people may not realize, and how much effort afterwards also, right? It goes into keeping this thing together. It's a messy system. And once you have something in a nice box, everything, you can get started right away, right? It is, you just set up immediately.
Just being able to pick up and move the prototype without breaking something is a huge win. I mean, everybody that's worked with any kind of, in this industry knows what we're talking about.
Right. The second thing is, even the depth estimates, right? So when you have, there is traditional stereo vision, which the camera is doing, but now with AI, you can augment and even get better quality depth estimates, right? And you can implement those algorithms in the Jetson box, right? After you have got these raw feed, you can improve upon that depth estimate using AI as well, right? So the whole package is very attractive in that sense. And it's a very powerful box to run pretty much, any depth estimation algorithm, right?
Hey, Phil, how are we doing on time?
Yeah, plenty of time, bud.
Okay, great. So what I'll do is then I'll switch it over to the camera itself so David can talk about it. And then Phil, I shared a video, and then where we can get deeper into, okay, what does this mean? Like, how visually, what does it's a camera, right? So show me something that it does.
We can talk about it as much as we want, but seeing is believing, yes.
Yes. And okay, so before I hand it over, so Phil, maybe building on, this is a drop ship, right? So if I build something in my house, remote work and whatever, I ship this to a customer, they turn it on, and that same thing is guaranteed. And I can troubleshoot it remotely if needed, That's what we want. We want our developers to be able to scale their learning and also their contributions and make money out of it. All right. So here's the camera. David, over to you.
Actually, I already covered part of what I want to say in my previous talking for reliability and performance for the performance purpose. We developed those cameras. So and generally speaking, again, we are here together with OpenCV to help you accelerate or make your idea real, to making you easier realizing your idea or making your business more successful. So for the stereo vision part, Orbbec does spend a lot of time working with on those cameras. There is, for example, there are many difficulties developing a stable product with the stereo vision. We need to deal with unit difference we need to minimize the unit difference in mass producing, right? You also need to maintain the calibration quality over a long period. When, we need to calibrate cameras many times, if we want to maintain those accuracy, right? But we have to, Orbbec has to spend time reducing the time, the time you need to recalibrate. And we also need to consider, the stability of the structure. I mean, both the mechanical stability and the thermal stability of the structure when we build the camera. We do spend a lot of time. Talking about the performance aspect, Armin, can we show the video?
Yes, Bill. So I'm going to stop sharing. If you could share the YouTube video that I sent to you earlier.
You got it. All right. Got it right here.
Okay, so I'm using my daughter's Gmail account. So so just discard the name. So this video shows a comparison between our latest stereo vision camera and the RealSense stereo vision camera. On the top left is the RealSense D455 with a post filter on. And in the center is our Gemini 2 XL without any post filter. You can see the difference directly, right? So I'm showing this video. Gemini 2 XL is our best performance stereo vision camera. I'm not saying that all of our cameras can reach the same result, but you can. I'm showing that one of the important effort we make, to improve these cameras. Yeah. Of course, you will see more of our news on those Gemini 2 XLs shortly. Yeah, see its outdoor performance and the long-range performance and, complicated environment performance. Very nice. So for the AI applications, if you do not have those depth map, you still need to estimate the depths from the single image or multiple images. So in this way, with our camera, it gives you two choices. For some scenarios, you can still do the estimation, but for another scenarios, you can directly use our depth map. That will save you a lot of compute resource and programming effort.
Right.
Make things much easier.
Cool. It's very impressive results here.
Yeah. So actually, for the hardware part, I think I see one of your questions there. it's the content of a question is consistent with what I am going to see or I'm going to say. I see one of you is asking about the Keyence cameras, right? Our camera, what we made is for many scenarios, Keyence cameras are high-end cameras, very expensive, very high reliability, but not. But for many cases, give you an example. For example, like a bin picking for the robotic arms. Keyence camera is overqualified,
Right.
too expensive.
Right.
Too expensive. You only need for the majority of the producing lines worldwide, no matter you are producing toys, food, mechanical components, everything, you only need one, maybe Orbbec camera plus your OpenCV camera, OpenCV library to do the job. You do not really need a very expensive Keyence camera there, honestly. Yeah, I'm not saying that Keyence is not good as a researcher. It's a high-end camera, but not that affordable and overqualified. That's
We've even seen in OpenCV competitions, folks building sort of assembly line type, pick and place type identification and things like that using, much cheaper cameras.
Yes.
as you say.
In conclusion, we are providing a reliable, affordable hardware with as high reliability or quality as we can. Yeah, that's what I want to express. Yeah.
Great goal.
Mm-hmm. So Amit, it's that we can continue, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think we have covered most of it, most of what we wanted to say, and I just wanted to add maybe where things are headed. So this is for the audience. We're collaborating. We means OpenCV and Orbbec, and then we're extending that to a few other so-called co-competitors. So we can work together towards a common way of measuring, accuracy, precision. We have a common definition. We have a common understanding. So we find there are camera companies traditionally, they talk about their what is the range, and then they have a distorted view of what accuracy would that be. And we don't want to do that. We want actually all of us to come together and explain. And what we would like is that with OpenCV being the so-called sit-in for standards bodies, which take forever to come out and provide this kind of information to you, and also have a place where you can contribute as well from your experiments.
Yeah, the idea would be that we will come up with code for estimating how good the quality of a depth camera is on various dimensions. And it will be open source, so anybody can contribute or even say that, okay, we don't agree with this, and then we can have a debate over there. But at least everybody would come up with the same metrics, right? It's not like you're comparing apples to oranges, so that everybody is on the same platform or standard, and they report the results using that standard.
Yeah. And then
great for the
we have a big show coming up at CES. We have a really beautiful booth. We have many of our customers and partners who are going to demonstrate how they're using these cameras in different applications. So if any of you happen to come to CES, please come over. Have a live conversation with David and all our other experts. Touch and feel the cameras, play with, and talk to some of our customers who are using, and ask them directly about their experience, and maybe connect with them. See if you can leverage their experience and accelerate your projects, and maybe collaborate with them and take to market different things that you can gain from them.
CES is a huge show. I have been there many times in my past with Occipital. It's very fun to just walk around and see what people are showing off, and we're thanks to Orbbec for involving us in that as well. No promises, but we'll see if we can get some OpenCV stickers out there for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a bunch of questions here. I think it's a good time to do our giveaway here at 12:45 Eastern Time. This one is going to be a two-parter. And if you're just joining us for the first time, or if you need a reminder, the way this works is I'm going to ask a trivia question that I made up during this show. The first person to answer that trivia question correctly in the Zoom chat will win an Orbbec Percy N1, a huge prize. We really appreciate the generosity of our guests today. So get ready to answer. This is a two-parter. You need to answer both answers in one message, and the first person to do it wins a Percy N1. So we talked a little bit earlier about how Amit and David met. At what company did they meet? And what operating system runs on the Percy N1? That's our two questions here. Trivia Shark Partha, just like we just knocked it right out of the park.
That's fast.
Knocked it right out of the park.
That is really...
Partha, we need to. Partha needs to start asking the questions, I think. We need to change sides. The answers we were looking for there were Microsoft and Ubuntu. Congratulations, Partha, our resident trivia shark. Please send one email to phil@opencv.org, and we will make sure that you get your Percy N1. Thanks so much for
people who don't know, Partha won so many times in a row that we had to come up with this arbitrary rule that if you have won in the last 2 months, you cannot win again. So
Yep.
Now Partha wins every 2 months.
Yep, that's right. Congrats, Partha. Thanks so much for joining us every week. We really do appreciate it.
Oh, sorry. I see several questions listed on our Q&A. So
yeah.
do we have time? It may take some time.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab these, and I can moderate these questions. We've got quite a few, and we've got Nan and Zin here. If they're Jin here, if they want to join and talk as well, they're welcome to pop in and on audio. So Tanya would like to know: do these cameras have the ability to detect metal that are like wet or covered in gel? Is this a thing you've seen someone do? It's an interesting problem. I hadn't really thought about this.
To answer this question, I think Orbbec is the answer is, I believe, for part of such scenarios, you can make it with this camera, with Percy or other Orbbec cameras. However, Orbbec is a hardware supplier, when OpenCV is a library, those kind of supplier. You still have to develop the algorithms to detect those objects. The good news is that, based in my knowledge, if you combine the recognition algorithm with modern AI-based recognition, for example, like that's called maybe I use like a segment everything, for example. I believe most scenarios you mentioned can be realized, but you still need to spend some time in developing some recognizing part. Yeah, for the hardware and the library part, I believe we can achieve that. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Nick would like to know, do the Femto Mega and Femto Bolt both support body tracking?
Amit, we are okay to use Microsoft body tracking tool, right?
Yeah.
So for these cameras, people can freely use Microsoft body tracking. It's licensed free for you. And if you are not satisfied with that, we also have some third-party supplier who focused on body tracking. You can send an email to us, and we can make correct introduction. Yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe a secondary question to them is, are they already using? Maybe there's a response. So, if they're already using the Microsoft body tracking SDK, it will work with our Femto Mega as well as Femto Bolt. The differences between those two devices are The Femto Mega has the depth engine running inside the camera and also adds the PoE functionality. Whereas the Bolt, it is identical or near identical to the Azure Connect in terms of the architecture. So it'll still, the depth engine as well, so equivalent of the Azure Connect sensor SDK, which is the depth engine, that will run on your machine, as well as the body tracking is going to run on your machine. So in both cases, body tracking is going to run on the user compute. And yes, it is compatible, and it has been tested by Microsoft, but it's also been tested by several other developers.
Great, thanks for that. We've got another question here about effective distance. What of the Orbbec camera line would you recommend for working with objects and tracking and whatnot of a distance between 15 to 60 centimeters?
15 to 60 centimeter, right?
Correct.
So I think most our cameras already best module. We have several options for this distance. One is the Gemini 2L. Gemini 2L is the other is the Gemini 2XL. Both two of them should work in this distance. If you are specialized work interested in the accurate measurement, you can try our Astra 2 tool. Yeah, but if you want to use, for example, you want to use put the camera on a robot and or robot arm, I think Gemini 2L, Gemini 2XL should be one of your best choice. Mm-hmm.
On a similar line, Bruce Wright is asking, what would be a good camera for 30-meter range?
30 meter.
Yeah. Or is there a camera
much
that will support 30 meter, which is very far? Yeah.
Honestly, our Gemini 2XL can see through 20 to 30 meters. However, I don't think it's you can get a very accurate result. Right. Now, generally speaking, we do not have cameras designed especially for 20 and 30 meter. Majority of our cameras are designed for robotics application that will be maybe 0.1 to 10 or 15 meter. Yeah.
30 meters is pretty far away, and it requires a wide baseline and things like that, which make it, it's very challenging. You need
got a really interesting question here, at least for my interests, which I'm interested in film cameras and production and stuff like that. Someone would like to know, can they calibrate Orbbec products with high quality film cameras like the Ari Alexa and get depth masks in this way? Is that something that you've seen people do, or is there support for that?
Well, that's why you need OpenCV and Orbbec, right?
Great answer.
Actually, you can calibrate any of our camera with any off-the-shelf camera with Orbbec camera. We get calibration library on OpenCV. You can you can directly get the calibration matrix. Then you can do the D2C or C2D registration by yourself. Yeah. So we already have a customer who are trying to produce films with multiple Orbbec camera and other cameras. So you will see probably a PR shortly from us or from our partner to see this. Yeah.
Great. We've got another question here. Can the Percy N1 connect to cloud-based services as part of its functionality?
Technically, yes. However, one note I have to emphasize is that Orbbec is a hardware company. We do not, to avoid, violating the data privacy or data security, we do not provide software or app for you to do the connection. However, once you finish that part, again, probably with OpenCV is okay. Yeah, you have to finish that part yourself. But for the hardware connection, you can connect, using a PoE directly to the cloud, or using any other Wi-Fi wireless connection you prefer. Yeah.
But the Persian one can be connected to the cloud, right? And once you get the frame and estimate, you can do whatever with it, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
technically, yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it has a Jetson Nano based computer, and the way we have partitioned it, the camera is self-contained, right? So it's the same as you bought if you were to buy two separate units. So if you have, or if you are able to build any IoT device using a Jetson Nano, this will run the same way. So you should be able to connect it to your cloud-based system. You should be able to do your upgrades, updates, monitoring, all of it. Okay.
Awesome. I love the focus on simplicity and just being able to take it and go is so awesome. We've got another question here about Persian 1 and cameras. Does the Persian 1 support multiple cameras being plugged into the unit there? Say if someone brought 6 other cameras and plugged them in, is there a good way to make them work together?
Well, if we connect it to the box, I think, let's say like this: if you want to connect multiple Persian 1 to a single host, yes, you can. However, we do not have a hardware synchronization on those Persian 1 devices. In that case, if you want to do synchronization, you have to use our Femtomega. Femtomega, you can synchronize up to 10 devices on our, when I say up to, it's we succeeded for 10 devices onto the same host. Yeah, synchronize and the trigger, together, 10 devices on the same host.
Wow.
But if you want to use our stereo cameras or any other cameras, and it's really, you have to determine what resources you need for your applications. So not just the camera itself, but what are you going to do with the images or the video? And that should drive your decision on the compute hardware. So you could take multiple cameras from us and tether it to maybe a Orin-based system instead of a Jetson Nano, right? And that will work. And you run Ubuntu, it's, our SDK support that. So yeah, or you can have x86-based systems. That's not an issue, right? But I think David was addressing maybe like, what if you want to use any of the extra ports to connect yet another camera? It really depends on your application. It might be pretty limited. This combination is really geared for convenience and price, right? If we went any beyond this, we will go through that budget that we have decided that our developers should pay no more than $500. That's what our goal was.
Hi, this is Xun. So let me add one comment on the synchronization for the Persian 1. So actually, if you want to synchronize multiple Persian 1, depending on how you want it to work, if you just need to synchronize the cameras on different Persian 1, because that's a German tool on there, so you can use the synchronizing hub to synchronize all those cameras self. And if you use the Jetson Nano on each Persian 1 as its own processing or its own host, so that should work. But if you want to connect like all the Persian 1 Jetson Nano, synchronize them together, basically you are building a multiple camera networks and multiple host networks. Because each of the Jetson Nano is a single computer, you are building a computer networks, then that's a whole bunch different story. So that's basically synchronizing through networks. So yeah, but if you just need to synchronize the camera itself, and each of the Jetson Nano doing its own host to its own camera, so that's doable. Yeah. So just one comment on there. Yeah.
One more sentence. For the long range cameras we mentioned, 30-meter. I think I thought we were talking about stereo vision or other cameras. We do not have that long range camera, but our LiDAR, like MS500, can reach 30 meters. Yeah.
That's
If you need an economic LiDAR, we can do that.
great. I've got one more question here about the film industry. What Orbbec products would you recommend for someone who is working in the film industry and maybe using some of those higher end cameras?
For film industry, well, based on our current experience, I mean, working with the customers, working in this industry, you will see a very famous one releasing their PR shortly, right? I mean, we cannot release in advance, right? So
I'm going to try to actually just put the name. It's okay.
A little bit of a tease there.
Yeah.
The camera we recommend is, we got two cameras we recommend. One is Femto Mega, the other is Femto Bot. Femto Mega is Amit is posting their solutions. It's a very famous one. They have they win the Emmy Prize using 3D cameras for filming. Yeah, Femto Mega is one good choice because you can synchronize and easily, synchronize maybe multiple devices and put them at any distance you prefer, because it get a PoE support. You can. The other is a Femto Bot. Femto Bot, comparing to Femto Mega, we added HDR support on the RGB. Although you cannot use PoE, but if you are doing that in a photo or filming booth, and we already have customers successfully build that. Very nice result. You can see their post.
So volumetric video and with the depth gives very high contrast. And I just posted the link. This is a company, this is one of our very close partners. They are going to be releasing their latest, they're going to be announcing the latest version, which uses up to 10 femto boards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I would say, if you have like a 3-4 camera solution, more like a torso, I think a 3 camera solution with the USB connections will suffice. But if you want to, have the luxury of, if you want that, ease of use of longer distances without having to, worry about USB cables, I would recommend use the Femto Mega. And then each of them, both of them, they have the same synchronization system. And it's so actually Shin, who was speaking earlier, is his brainchild. It's a simple 8-pin connector, flat ribbon, but it comes out, and what we are doing is we're supplying these simple, I call them dongles or adapter wires, which terminate on the other side with a 8-pin RJ45 connector. So now you can just pull Ethernet cables, and then we are selling the sync hubs very cheap, and just connect. And again, it's about what you develop, what you ship without you shipping yourself, right? So they can just do a drop ship in a box, customer puts it up, and it starts running.
Great. Unfortunately, we've got a bunch more questions here, but we're at our time. Thanks so much to our guests. If people want to find you all on the internet, they want to follow Orbbec, they want to follow you personally, where should they look for that?
We are on LinkedIn, and you can find David and I on LinkedIn as well, right? So yeah, follow us, and there are quite a few exciting announcements coming up in the next few weeks.
That's great.
Sure. You can leave me a message, and if some questions are not answered, leave me a message on my LinkedIn. I will answer that one by one with my, accurately. Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
We're
I've got the official troubadour of OpenCV here, Henry Nelson. He performed on the theme song and also performed on our big live stream to launch the campaign. Say hi to the people, Hank.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Yes, I think that's all for today. Satya, you want to take us home?
Yeah, thank you so much, David and Amit. It's a pleasure to work with Orbbec, and I'm very excited about this partnership. And also thank you, Shin and Nan, for being here to answer questions. And as always, thank you, Phil, for organizing this show. And finally, our audience, it's a pleasure to have you all on the show week after week. And we will try our best to keep bringing in high quality people, high quality companies, and high quality conversations to the show week after week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Take care of
care.
yourselves out there.
I know.
Take care of yourselves out there. Take care of somebody else if you can, and have a great day wherever you may be. I will see you soon.